Welcome to Family Check-In. We're grateful tonight that you thought it not robbery to allow us to come into your homes, wherever you may be. And we ask that you please get your watch parties going. Please share it as we share together tonight. We're really glad and thankful for all of you, and we're praying that everything is well with you and your household. And we want to give shout outs to all of our folk who, not only our members, but our friends across the country and around the world. And we do want our partners in Malawi and Kenya and India to know we love you and we really support you and praying for you in this time, this pandemic, because not only are we facing this pandemic in this country, it's a worldwide pandemic. And we are praying for you, especially those in Malawi who's being hit really hard now, like we are in the States. And so our hearts are with you, and we are praying that God will protect you and cover you. We're so glad and thankful to all of you. You know, my wife lost her father, and we just thank you so much for the outpouring of love toward the family. We really appreciate it. And I've got Mandy Pandy Candylandi standing in for her mom tonight, and we're grateful and thank you, Mandy. We got a really important program tonight, and want to share with you. We've got a wonderful guest that's going to come on in just a few minutes. But before we do that, we do want to thank you so much for tuning in this morning for the service. And we're going to hear the choir today. The choir did a phenomenal job as normal. And we're going to hear from them in just a few moments. We just want to share a few things. We want to, for those who are already tuned in, and Mandy was supposed to be doing that and tell me who's already on, but she's not doing that. She's not doing her job, but she'll catch up. She'll catch up in a second. But we do want to say, also, we had a lot of great things happen this week. We had our training program out of Lit. We had 18 guys. Graduated today through the training program, and all 18 of them are hired now. They'll be working, starting their apprenticeship for union jobs, and we're really excited about that. And thankfully, we want to say thank you to Joey Gingoli, who was on with us a few weeks ago and made that commitment, and it really happened, and we're grateful for him and his tremendous commitment to the community. Also, we are really excited about our Lit program. We begin this week. We have 97 kids already, maybe more than that, but last I heard 97 kids are already signed up, getting ready to start for our weekend program. It's divided into three parts. One group is going to be cooking for seniors and the homeless on Saturdays. Another group will be doing community cleanup. Another will be developing podcasts. And with that said, we've got two positions open to help out. That's you and you want to be a part. Need a driver's license, and call Shemaine Gunter-Gary or call the office. We'll get information, and we'd love you to come and help us out. We're looking for another great time. The summer we hired 200 kids this year for the winter 97, and in the summer again we're looking at hiring another 200, and so we're just excited about that. Also, we do want to remind you, MITRE classes are getting ready to begin next month, and if there are those of you who like to jump in and teach some MITRE classes, call the office. By this weekend, by Wednesday night, we'll have those classes that's going to be scheduled. And I know that you got this extra time now during the pandemic. You need to make sure that you tune in and take part in the MITRE classes. Mandy, you got an announcement?
I do. Well, first, I want to just give a shout out to those that are saying hi and joining us this evening. Hey, Joey. Hey, Earl. Laura Bunt said good evening, Pastor, Mrs. Days and family. May Lawrence Speller, Vera Wells, Jimmy Waller,
Hey,
Carolyn
Jimmy.
Tan,
Sister Tan, we just
Sissy
text. Good to
Bostic,
have you on.
Alex Lugo, Aunt Paula,
Minister Alex Lugo.
Minister Alex Lugo, Lisa Price, Tashira, Aunt Betty, Uncle Joe, sending his condolences to the family. Thank you, Aunt Betty and Uncle Joe. Ernestine King, Lisa Price. So we just thank you all for joining us tonight. So I just want to make a very quick announcement as well. In the state of New Jersey, Black women are 4 times more likely to die than white women as a result of complications during childbirth. And a Black baby is 3 times more likely to die before their first birthday. The NAACP Atlantic City branch recognized this as an issue, and they put together a Black infant and maternal mortality task force in which I spearhead. And I'm very excited to announce that tomorrow the task force will be launching the first community-based maternal experience survey for Black mothers. So what this survey will do is record the experiences of Black mothers during their prenatal experience, during childbirth, and we'll use this data to inform the child care for Black mothers. So if you know a Black mom, if you want to know more about the survey, please go to the NAACP Atlantic City branch's website or our social media pages.
And that, that is so important. And so we, unless we participate, things will never get better for our Black mothers and our Black kids. And so it behooves all of us to make sure that we not only, oftentimes we get information, share the information, and we don't utilize it. So this is great. Thank you,
Dad Carson is watching tonight. He said, hey.
Carson who?
Your child.
My son Carson is watching? Oh, my Lord. Hey, see, he just wants to give a shout out about swaps. That's all that he's doing. But thank you, Carson, for watching. That is a miracle. Thank God for that. Amen.
Hi, Miss Karen.
Hi, Miss Karen.
Hi, Miss Bertha.
All of you.
Jody.
Thank you, and we just thank you so much for tuning in. As again, please share, please get tuned in, get settled in, because we had a great program for you tonight. But you know what? We had a great service this morning, both the 8 and 11 o'clock service. Thank all of those who came and registered for those services and came in person. Thank all of you who watch. We got calls and viewers and from around the country who watched, and we're grateful for each and every one of you for tuning in on Sundays. We had a Manny them did a great job on the power team, did a tremendous job this morning.
The rest of the power team, because I cried throughout the whole song.
Yeah, well, that's all a part of it. That's all a part of it. We heard your sobs and you sang, and you sobbed in harmony. So we're grateful for that. So now we're gonna for those of you that may have missed the power team this morning, we that's one of the highlights of tonight is to hear the choir. So come on and enjoy the choir tonight as they sing. I know you enjoyed that as much as I did. It was all it's like leftovers. It's better sometimes the second time around. Thank you again for checking in with us today, and we are thankful. Today we got a special guest on. That Mandy, I'm gonna let you introduce our guest and share with everyone tonight.
So this evening we're very excited to have Nate Evans Jr. Nate is a graduate from Pleasantville High School. He is now the director of the Teen Center at the Boys and Girls Club. He also has just written a new book called I Love You. I Love You. Letters of Love. Love letters from black men to black boys. Right? Did I get it right, Nate?
Okay,
Almost. Let us love.
letters of
Letters of
love. Letters of
love.
love. Welcome, Nate, to Family Check-In, and we're grateful to have you on. I've heard so much about you. This is my first time meeting you and looking at you today, and we're grateful and welcome to Family Check-In. Welcome to to all of our friends and church members as we share together. We are very, as a church, and we do a lot of community work for our young people, and so it's always exciting to see young people working for young. It gives me some excitement because I'm getting gray now, but I still got a little energy and a tremendous interest in our young people. And so, tell us a little about yourself. Tell our viewers a little about yourself and what you've been up to.
Yeah, absolutely. First and foremost, thank you for allowing me to be on this platform and just speak with you both. My name is Nate Evans Jr. I grew up in Pleasantville. I lived in Atlantic City for a little while with my dad. Kind of bounced around from school to school. Graduated from Pleasantville High School. I was a basketball all-star there. Ended up being Mr. Greyhound and the Prom King, which were all these great things. Went off to college, and that's where a lot of different things had happened. And I experienced my bouts with mental health issues and started to really learn about those different things as I bounced around to 5 different colleges before really gaining the understanding and healing that I need, as well as my degree. And currently I reside in Mays Landing.
Great. Well, welcome. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing at Boys and Girls Club with the Teen Center.
Yeah, absolutely. I am currently the director of the Boys and Girls Club of Atlantic City at the Teen Center, and what we are doing and culminating is workforce development programs for our local kids in Atlantic City and also kids that are just in Atlantic County. We're bringing them different resources in STEAM. We're working with Apple. We're doing Adobe Photoshop, teaching them logo design. We also have them in our music program, teaching them things like Lyricism 101 and how to produce music. We also have hospitality as well. We're also doing healthcare with Atlantic Care and getting the kids CPR certified, as well as prepping them for college with our college and career readiness. So we're pretty much making the club and building it as like a one-stop shop to get them the resources that they don't necessarily have being in Atlantic City. And providing that along with mentorship, obviously some love, and really just helping them to become better citizens and better people as they grow up and go out into this world.
How many kids are you serving now at the Boys and Girls Club? And I know it's a different
So
twist with the pandemic.
yeah. So it's definitely a different twist. Definitely depends on the night too as well. From night to night, you can see 30 to 45, maybe 50 kids. Usually we do about 65, and right now we have over, I would say, like 120 registered for the club. We're raising that number as well, but again, you have to be safe within the confines of COVID restrictions.
And what are the age groups that you serve?
Yeah, absolutely. We serve teenagers, so it's 13 to 18.
Hmm.
18 being that you're still in high school. Once you're no longer in high school, you do become ineligible for the club. So you have to be 18 and still in high school, and as young as 13.
So if I was a teenager, how can I just walk into the club? How can I get involved in what you're offering and providing?
Yeah, absolutely. If you're a teenager, and we have many do that, just kind of walking on their own, like, hey, how can I be a part of this? We just provide them with an application that they can actually fill out. Once they fill that application out, they can actually just start attending the club. If they don't want to do workforce development, if they just want to come in every day and just get food and hang out, play the video game, just relax a little bit, get a safe haven, they can do that. Now, if they want to step into our paid programming, which is the workforce development, there is a little bit of a process where we have to get, social security cards and different things. That way they can actually be paid through stipend.
Now, do you have to pay to be a member of the Boys and Girls Club?
No, that's the beautiful part of it. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe in the past that you actually had to pay to be there, but it's actually free, and kids are getting paid to learn, so it's a win-win.
Yeah, I remember it used to be like $10, or I didn't even know that it had changed. So you said that now students can, or teens can, get paid to be in the program. So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, absolutely. It goes through our workforce development track. So we have multiple grants that pretty much feed into these programs, depending on what it is. And what happens is you sign up for the club, you sign up for a track, and once your paperwork is completed, we have two different tracks, which are CRDA and WIOA, which is based on the age that you are when you come in. When you come in, you get paid bi-weekly, like a real job. We set you up with the soft skills and the hard skills, but you're treated just like, you're an employee somewhere. So you got to show up on time. The classes are only about an hour, a little over an hour, so it's not difficult. So we're teaching them to be responsible and show up. Hey, look, you got to show up. You got to fill out your time card, different things that they'll need as they grow up and go out into the real world. And then you get paid bi-weekly in doing so. Now, it's not a bunch of money, but it's better than nothing at the same time. And you're getting certified. That way you can actually step into a pretty lucrative career.
Now, Second Baptist Church parents, I know that you have some teenagers that are at home and you need to find, and they need something to do. So you hear that they can be paid and then also be getting certified in something that will be beneficial for them. So thank you for sharing that with us, Nate.
And Second Baptist, if we're doing this program, 100 kids, there better be a whole lot of kids from Second Baptist in the program. And, with that program, and we're paying $15 an hour, and that's not chump change. And so we're really grateful for that. So now, is the Boys and Girls Club still have two locations or just one location?
It's actually 3 locations. That's considered one location. So mine's is the Teen Center building, which is the newly kind of renovated building where we just put it, like I said, we have a STEAM lab now. So Apple actually partnered with us and brought the big MacBook computers, iPads, all different type of robotic resources. Then right next to us, we have a building that used to be a daycare that got converted to our Drexel unit, which is for the younger age groups. And then if you go to the other side of town, I believe it's Sovereign Avenue. We have our Chelsea building, which is also that younger age group. So we operate with the 3 clubs as one.
Right.
So, Nate, Mr. Archibald, he asked, "Are these teens all from Atlantic City? So do you have to live in Atlantic City to attend the Boys and Girls Club and participate in these programs?"
Yeah, you do not. We actually have a handful of kids who attend ACIT that don't live in Atlantic City. And then we also have a few kids that we have a few that are actually out of state that are going to be attending virtually. So you do not have to be somewhere else, actually.
Do you actually recruit, or you wait for the kids to find you?
So we're in the recruiting process now. We just kind of got the thumbs up to start recruiting. So we're pitching a lot at different schools and showing up for sporting events, and more so trying to get the parents engaged. It's challenging with COVID, but virtually we can do a lot, like via Facebook and things like that. And we're going to start hosting our own kind of nights where parents can come in and we can show them the entire club and what we have to offer. Because we also, outside of the workforce, which a lot of kids aren't really trying to hear, we also have esports. So we have our own esports team we started. We have the debate team. I already talked about this studio that we have. And we have other things as incentivized programs that we're bringing to the clubs for kids to have fun while also learning and getting the things that they need and supporting them for school. So we have tutors there as well to make sure that they're getting their schoolwork done.
Right.
Mr. Main said, "We have 185 on our waiting list. What is their capacity? How many?"
We have 185 kids on the lit waiting list.
Mm-hmm.
For our capacity, I know at least for my building, it's in the 300s.
I think she's referring to the workforce program you have.
Yeah.
Oh, the workforce program. I apologize. For our workforce program right now, because of COVID, we can only have 10 kids per track per grant. So you're looking at about 60 kids.
So when you said per track, what tracks do you have?
So it's the STEAM track, and you have a grant for the STEAM track. Then you have hospitality, which has 2 grants. So it has a CRDA and a WIOA grant, which makes a total of 20 kids. And you have the health track, which is CRDA, WIOA, another 20 kids. So actually, I think our cap for the workforce track right now for the spring semester is 50. But we still have a lot of space in our healthcare track.
And
A
how
lot
long?
of
And how
space.
long is each track?
The tracks are about, if I'm not mistaken, until, what are we in, January? It's going to last until July. And then
That's
it's
awesome.
October, because that's when the grant year restarts over, and then it goes into another
Yeah.
program.
Well, we also want to hear. You know, you're a budding author, and you just wrote a book that Amanda's really excited about, and she has a copy of it. I don't have my copy yet, and so tell us a little about the book and what is its purpose and target audience.
Yeah, absolutely. So just to give a little backstory on the book, me and my fiance, we had went to a mental health conference 2 years ago in Washington, D.C. The famous actor Taraji P. Henson, she
Mm-hmm.
has her own nonprofit organization called the Boris Lawrence Henson Foundation. And she threw this big conference, and I was like, hey, let's go. You'll get, CEUs, continual education credits, and all of that because she's licensed social worker and she works at John Brooks Recovery Center. I was a student at the time, and I'm like, hey, I just want to go and learn what resources can I gain to bring to my community, because the conference was based around bringing Black professionals together, Black mental health professionals together to think of ideas and learn about different ways to eradicate the stigma around mental health in Black communities. And to me, that was super important because prior to that, I had dealt with my own battle of depression, anxiety, suicidal ideation, all these things before I got my healing when I got baptized and I started going to therapy. So I'm like, man, I need to be a part of this. So I went to the conference. It was an incredible conference. I met a lot of different people. And the first session that I went to, it was titled Man Up. And I met this guy named Dr. Michael Lindsay, who I actually connected with, which is incredible. And he works at NYU. He's a professor at NYU. And the first thing that he said when he started his session, he said, love Black men and boys as if they've never been hated. And it like that quote alone like floored me. And I was looking around the room like, did anybody hear what he just said? And he went on to go on with his presentation, and he started to talk about the suicide rates amongst Black boys, ages 5 to 11 years old, and even into the teenage years. And he was breaking down these numbers and these statistics and all these different things. And I had like tears in my eyes, and I was like, man, this is insane. Like the rate was double that of young white boys. And it was a number of reasons, bullying, poverty, all different types of things led into that. So leaving that conference, knowing that I wasn't a certified mental health professional, I'm like, how can I be of service to my community with these resources I just gained? So I have a gift in literature. I love to write. I've always been writing. This is actually my fourth book that I published. So I started writing. I'm like, God, what do you want me to do? How can I use this stuff that I took? So God's like, look, start writing this book and title it I Love You. So when somebody picks it up, it's the first thing they see. This the first thing they see is I love you. So it automatically triggers you like, what is this? It's the first thing they see. So I start writing. I'm like, I'm going to write these letters of love to Black boys. Let them know that they're they're kings. They're validated. All these different things. And I begin writing the book, and I'm about 3 letters in, and it hits me. God's like, look, your story is your story. Your background is your background. We need to get other men involved. Other men that may come from, having backgrounds where they have both parents, where things were better, or somebody that may have came from just different situations than you, somebody that may have been adopted, right? So I started contacting, and I was praying really hard. I had wrote out a list of guys. I'm praying on all right, God, if these are the guys, I'm going to call all of these dudes. I'm going to find their numbers, call them. And I built relationships through this. So a few of the guys, one is Daryl Edmonds, who does Friday's Tie Day. You have Michael Forrest, who works at ACCC. You have so many different individuals. I have another gentleman who's a real estate agent, someone else who's in business as a branding expert. So I'm reaching out to these guys, and I get a total of 12 of them together. Total of 12 Black men, successful Black men, in my opinion, that are doing amazing things in our community and for Black boys. And they agreed to do this do this book with me. So all right, cool. Now, I had the vision for the book in 2019. God placed it in my heart. I started working on the book. I'm still in school. I ended up writing a 50-page paper around this topic before I graduate from Rowan University. So I'm working on this paper. I'm learning all about mental health and adverse childhood experiences and all these things. I reach out to these gentlemen. We start working on the book in 2020, February of 2020. We all know what happened in March 2020, the pandemic. Everything hit. Everything stopped. Now, remember, we already started working on the book, but shortly after that, you have Ahmaud Arbery. Shortly after that, you have George Floyd. Now, we've been working on this book, this topic of loving black boys and validating them and letting them know that they're kings and pouring into them and loving on them before these things happen. So you have the issue of the world showing, society showing, the media showing that black men are less than. So God's like, look, we got to get this thing going. So we put this book together and we put it out there, and it does incredible things. We end up going just recently a #1 bestseller on Amazon. We were able to get the book into multiple schools. Also having the book being taught from at Tennessee State, which is at HBCU. You know, they're going to use it for their freshman class and have them actually break down the book. And the reason that they are doing that is because of the way that we broke down love in the book. So it wasn't just I love you for the sake of saying I love you. There was action steps behind it. So when you read the book, it starts off with talking about different ways to love on black boys and best practices from experiences that I've learned and things that I've studied and things that I've seen around me. So I broke it down into 4 parts, which is listen, you know, first and foremost, listen, be open-hearted, validate, and encourage. There's 2 questions that, you know, no one should have to ask, especially young black youth. And that is, do I matter and is my voice being heard? So those were the things we addressed first. Obviously, I'm a believer in Jesus Christ. And for me, God is love. So I had to come from that aspect of even sharing that in the book that, look, God is love. So we have to love our neighbors as we love ourselves. And the beautiful part about all of this was that I didn't just get random, 12 black men. I got 12 healed black men. It was super important that these gentlemen were healed and that they were on their way and doing things to enhance the lives of black boys and just people in general, but doing the work. But we got together to put this book out, and it has truly, truly been a blessing all the way down to what it's doing now in regards to going into different schools. I had another school call yesterday from Philadelphia, a middle school, where the professor or the teacher wants to get books for all of her male students, and then also do the same thing as the university, but teach from it. And that's powerful because I didn't see this when I originally started the book. I just knew that I had this in me, and for me, it's all about being obedient. It's all about being obedient. Prior to me even writing this book, I was speaking on the college circuit of going from different colleges and different universities, speaking about mental health and sharing my story. But I felt like God had literally just picked me up and just turned me to focus specifically on these black boys. And it's not saying that black girls aren't important. No, not at all. But I know that this is where my focus needs to be. And a really cool story behind the book and behind the cover of the book, if you can see it, if you look really close, let me see if I can get it. You see, it looks like the gentlemen are yelling and you see them holding signs, right? So this was shortly after Ahmaud Arbery, when the whole world was essentially protesting together. And everywhere you went, there was some type of protest and really protesting for our rights and for our lives, right? And we were trying to figure out a cover for the book because we couldn't release it without the cover. We couldn't put it out. And I was having a challenge. Like I made like 6 different book covers, and it wasn't coming together. And I started to get frustrated. And I prayed on it. And I sat and I listened. I just sat in silence and listened. And it just came to me. I felt like God just came to me and was like, hey, do what you're seeing right there on the media. Do that. Do the protest. So we ended up going back to my old neighborhood where my pop-up lived on Cedar Lane in Pleasantville. And we went down the street. I got about 30 black men. We had these signs that I had, wrote all on that say, I love you, that say, we love you, we appreciate you, our love isn't conditional, all these different things. And we literally marched down Cedar Lane holding these signs up with all black on, screaming, I love you, I love you. And it was funny because an older gentleman, he came out of his house and was like, what are y'all doing? And we was like, we're just doing a photo shoot, trying to figure some things out. And he was like, I really love what y'all are doing. I don't know what it is, but I love it, and I love the energy. And it was this older black gentleman. He just kind of just gave us some love and appreciation. And that's really how the book formulated. It was us fighting for the love of our black boys, because the world's trying to tell them everything that they're not. It's telling them that
Right.
you're less than a man. It's
Yeah.
telling them that you're not intelligent. It's telling them that you're an animal. It's telling them that you're going to be incarcerated. And none of these things are true. So for us, it's loving them and letting them know that you are more than a conqueror. You're going to get through whatever you're going through.
Now,
So,
you said earlier that those who participated in the book, all of them were healed. What was what do you mean by that, and what are you portraying by that?
yeah, so what we did, there was like a vetting process. So prior to the book, I had did a series of Facebook Lives with all of the gentlemen. We called it I Love You, and it was just series with different conversations. And before that, we all got together on Zoom, just like how we are, and we just discussed certain things about their journeys through life and their healing journeys. And some talked about how they went to therapy, some talked about how they reconcile relationships with their fathers. And for me, they displayed what a healed black man looks like. And they showed that they are thriving. They showed that they aren't perfect, but they are progressing. And for me, that was really important, not to bring someone who is still, necessarily going through their mess. Not that there was anything wrong with that, but for us, representation mattered. And I wanted
Right.
to be a real role model to these boys. Even in the book, it says somewhere, I'm not sure if it's somebody's letters, but it says somewhere like, look, if you don't have a dad, whatever it is, look, we can be that father figure for you. We can step in as your uncle. Like, we're here for you. That's what these letters are for. They're more than just us sharing our words. This is us pouring our heart on these pages for you,
Yeah.
because we wish we had this guy growing up.
Right, and you said representation matters. What you're doing is extremely powerful, Nate. But what I really liked also, especially for us, those within this community, when I looked at the first few letters, they were from men that I know. Men that graduated from high school with me, men that may have been in school with you. So when it comes to hearing these love letters, for our young men within our community, I think that it makes even more of a difference that is coming from other men that are right here.
Yep.
So you know that we're also looking to get these books for our youth. Miss Jody, principal at MLK, said, "I need this book at MLK." But just know that we will be expecting you and all of those that wrote with you to come and share that love with our young men in our schools as well.
Yeah, we really appreciate you coming on.
In our church.
Yeah, we really appreciate you coming on. As we said earlier, we have a tremendous affinity for our young people. We really work hard, and Mandy knows that they've always had brothers and sisters in here that we've adopted from the community. And I had a funny story. Someone called me from in the community and told me my son was in jail. And I asked her which one. And she said, "You don't know which one of your son is in jail? Is in jail?" I said, "No." I said, "What's his name?" And so she was so surprised that because I have so many, success stories, but we have some that's still trying to heal and get through some of those issues, and to have it makes me it gives me tremendous joy to know that there are those who are working and young people who have a commitment to the community, and whatever I can do to assist you in whatever you're doing, you can count on me. How do we get this book?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can actually grab the book. It's in a few places. The ebooks are on Amazon. You just have to type in either my name, Nathan Evans Jr., or the book title, I Love You, Letters of Love from Black Men to Black Boys. Or you can just go directly to my website, which is iloveyoubooks.com. And if you get it from the website, it's a signed copy by me, and it also comes with a custom bookmark. That way you can have that.
Excellent. Well, we thank you so much for coming and being a part tonight, and you were so informative, and not only informative, but you've really warmed the hearts of a whole lot of people, and we're really thankful for your efforts and your commitment to black boys. And we've got a lot of people at church. I'm just thinking now, Dr. Austin, as he's listening, and maybe you guys really need to meet as well, because he's an author as well and has a tremendous heart for black boys and black men in our community, and as we all, and we're really
Yes.
thankful for your efforts, and
Yes.
some of those who wrote letters. I know them as well, and great men of God, and I'm really thankful for their commitment, as well as the varied amount of things they do in the community. But thank you so much, and we look forward to meeting you in person and working with you on,
Thank you,
on some
Nate.
of the things. Thank you so much.
Thank you all for this platform.
Thank you. Second Baptist, thank you tonight for tuning in. Not only Second Baptist, our friends from South Carolina and Georgia. Hey, Jeff, we give you a little shout out tonight. And all of those who in the metropolis of Pedrick Town, thank you, Reverend Peterson and Mrs. Peterson.
Your sister,
and
Cinder,
all
and
my
Felicia.
sisters in South Carolina, bless you as well. And my goddaughter, Felicia, love you. And we look forward to seeing you soon. And to all of you, thank you so much, and for joining in. Please, if you're interested in the MITA classes, get ready. Those who are interested in teaching, call the office. We'll have the details. And we just thank God for each and every one of you. Say good night, Mandy.
Have a good night, Second Baptist, and you know that we love you and continue to keep our family in prayer during this time. Thank you.
Amen. Good night, everybody.
Good night.